Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry that my hair is very curly. It's just I had to basically work today, and that's why it's curly so much. Um, I had to work from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., so I had work to go to today, but I don't go back to work till Monday, so I'm returning to you for a new album review that I finally got a chance to listen to. This is for Absol's new album, Herbert, that I just got done listening to for this second to last review for the year. So, yeah, and then I'll probably do some honorable, decent to good honorable mentions or something like that for albums and all that. But basically, I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this 18 track album, Absol's new album, Herbert, and let you know what I thought of this new album of his. So let's dive into this album review. Basically, it starts with Message in a Bottle featuring Lance Scott Skywalker. I guess it's like Skywalker, however he's pronouncing it. Um, Basically, this was a pretty good track for sure. I really like this one. The mixing's pretty well done, and the rapping in it from Absol and Lance are pretty much uh, interesting for sure. So I was enjoying this track, so 5 out of 5. No Report Card was a solid track. I wasn't sure if I was feeling for the chorus part of the song when they mentioned the lyric No Report Card or another lyrics before that. It just left me feeling cringed at with how it turned out, this track. Like, there were some cringy moments, and then there were some strong moments, but the track is alright for what it is, so 4.5 out of 5. Hollandaise um, is a pretty good song for sure. I like Absol's rapping in it. I was really impressed with it for sure, and just the execution of the track is doing very well over me, and just the delivery for his rapping and all that is pretty good. So 5 out of 5. Moon Shooter featuring Joey Badass was a pretty good song for sure. Pretty good rapping from Absol and Joey Badass in this song. So I'm pretty much enjoying how this track is turning out, in my personal opinion. So 5 out of 5. FOMF, fuck out my face is what it's called. Um, that's what it says in the song, fuck out my face. Um, so pretty ruthless and brutal song, and pretty harsh song for sure. But I think it works for what it's going for, and I was really impressed with this track, so 5 out of 5. Goodman featuring Punch was a interesting track. I really enjoyed the mixing and the production in this track, and Absol's rapping in it is pretty good, and Punch's rapping in it, I believe, if he's rapping, if I remember correctly. This is an album I'll have to return to again, which it is well worth returning to. So 5 out of 5. Do Better featuring Zakari was a solid track. It did have some boring moments in it, but other than that, melody wise, it did fine. It's just Zakari's vocals are slight a slight tad bit boring in my opinion, but in a way, I think it works with the track. I think it makes the song do not so bad, so 4.5 out of 5. Gangnam featuring Fresh was a pretty good song. Really like both Absol and Fresh's rapping in this song. It does pretty well. There's some good verses for each rapper that's rapping, meaning Absol and Fresh. So, really enjoying this track, so 5 out of 5. The Wild Side featuring Gene Aiko got very repetitive, so I wasn't a huge fan of this one. I think it was decent, but nothing special in my opinion. So 4 out of 5 for Gene Aiko, The Wild Side. Well, Absol's song The Wild Side featuring Gene Aiko. It just got repetitive for almost 2 minutes, singing the wild side, and going on about it. And I'm like, this song's going nowhere, honestly. And nowhere good. I think the melody was fine, but it's just the song itself was poorly lyrically written. Lyrics were very poor in my opinion, so I was a little disappointed with this one. Art of Seduction featuring Ombre was a pretty good track. Really enjoyed Ombre's vocals in this song, and Absol's rapping in it was pretty strong, so highly recommend you check this out when it comes out at midnight. This song and the whole album, of course, so yeah, 5 out of 5. Bucket was a solid track. Not my personal favorite, but something at least, so I did enjoy certain moments in the song, and then there were some other moments that were slightly weak, so yeah, 4.5 out of 5. Go Off has to be my personal favorite song, featuring Russ and Big Sean. It's one of the better mixed and produced songs on this album, and I really like it, for sure. I like the beat to it, I like how Absol is rapping, how Russ is rapping, and Big Sean. Big Sean comes in last, close to the end of the song, so you'll be in for a good song with this one. So 5 out of 5. Fallacy, featuring Alamada, Alamada, I believe is how you pronounce it. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Pretty good song for sure. Um, there are some good mixing moments in the track with how it's mixed and produced, the melody and all that, and just basically the execution and delivery of both uh, Absol and Alamada. I think Alamada was doing the singing, but Absol was doing more of the rapping, so it was a good song. And sorry if I'm being hesitant on trying to get to the point with what I was trying to say with this track. I still enjoyed the track for what it was, so 5 out of 5. Herbert is a pretty good track. It's got a lot of brutal rapping from Absol in this track, so really enjoyed this song. 5 out of 5. Church on the Move was slightly not so bad. It just he mentions Kid Cudi in this track, and I'm like, oh god, he's trying to start beef with Kid Cudi. So yeah, give me a second, guys. I gotta pause the video. Sorry, guys, had to pause the video for a moment because my mom was calling me for a second. But basically, uh, Church on the Move was where he was dissing uh, Kid Cudi in this song, and I was like, oh god, please no. I'm like, I actually like his music, some of his music. Not everything of Kid Cudi is great, but it has its good moments and its bad moments, depending on what song you listen to from him. But basically, Church on the Move was a solid track. I like the rapping from Herbert, but I don't think he should have mentioned Kid Cudi in my personal opinion. So 4.5 out of 5. That's how you start beef with other rappers. And yeah, It'd Be Like That featuring Sir was a pretty good track. Really enjoyed how it turned out. I was really impressed with Absol's rapping and Sir's rapping, so it was pretty good. I like the ending to the song. It's got a really good mixing beat and all that, meaning the mixing for the melody is pretty good. And there's something interesting about the end of this track that keeps you on board with the album. So 5 out of 5. Positive Vibes Only was a solid track. I think this was meant to be about him going through some depression or whatever. I don't know for sure because I don't know him personally, but he was going through a lot. I saw an article that said or a video, I didn't watch it, but it said that he tried to kill himself in 2021 or something like that. I don't know. But that's pretty horrible to hear that news. If you are struggling with some suicidal thoughts and all that, definitely give the suicide hotline a call, because they'll definitely help you, for sure. So if you know the number, of course. So basically, yeah, I highly recommend it for my audience too if you're struggling with mental health issues or suicide thoughts and all that. So definitely give them a call. But still, nice song for what it went for. I wouldn't say the best song because it mentions a lyric about T-Mobile, and I'm like, why is that in the song? I'm like, I thought it was something about him struggling with his mental health or whatever. So basically, 4.5 out of 5 for this song. Gotta Rap is the final song on the album, and it was a solid one for sure. Um, just basically, Absol's rapping in it was pretty good, and just the execution and delivery of his vocals was pretty good in it. So 4.5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think Absol's new album, Herbert, was a good listen for sure. Wasn't crazy about The Wild Side. That was my least favorite on it, and that's what brought the rating of this album down a bit. But not too much to where I hate this album, to the extent where I think it's a good album, but needed a little more work, in my opinion. But that's just me, I guess. So, for what it is, it's a good listen. I highly recommend you check it out for yourself to see what you think of it. So, overall, in my opinion, I think Absol's Herbert album was a good album for sure. It was good in its own way, so highly recommend you check it out. And for a score for me, I'm giving Absol's new album Herbert an 8 out of 10. This was a good album. Definitely recommend checking it out. I wasn't crazy about The Wild Side, and some of Church on the Move was on the fence with me. It wasn't bad with his rapping, but it's a solid track. It's better than The Wild Side for sure. But The Wild Side I just was not connecting with, in my personal opinion. And it's a shame because I like Gene Aiko as a singer, but it's basically repetitiveness and just repeating the same lyrics over and over for almost 2 minutes. So it's kind of a shame. But the melody's not bad. So 8 out of 10 for Absol Herbert. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the new album by Absol Herbert, if you've heard this album already. And if you did enjoy this album review that I did for you guys on the 15th, of course, afternoon time. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this album when it comes out at midnight. I think Go Off's going to be everyone's personal favorite because that was a good song for sure. And there's some other tracks on here that are good for sure. So if you did enjoy this album review, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Support the channel. I will have another review coming out for, I think there's one more EP review for the year, and that's going to be it to wrap up this year because there's nothing else interesting coming out for the 23rd or the 30th. It's mostly movies, but other than that, yeah, this year's movies were underwhelming for quite a bit of the year, but it started progressing a bit as this third and fourth quarter we got into, and the movies were getting slightly better, in my opinion. But other than that, 2022 has been not very good of a year. But music wise, it's fine. It's just I'll have something to talk about in a special video for you guys close to the end of the year. Probably a few days before the end of the year and all that on before 12/31, of course, but still. Hope you enjoyed this album review for Absol Herbert. I did the best I could to make it as good as possible, and sorry for pausing the video for a brief moment. I just had to talk to my mom. She needed something from me, like a sweet tea or whatever, so I had to get her that. But until then, stay safe, take care. I hope you enjoyed this album review For Absol Herbert, sorry if I'm slurring with my wording. I gotta end this video now. So, as always, I will see you in my next upcoming review that should be in a little bit. So, I'll see you in my next review.